Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Hope Maria, Urban Cajun Girl. I have something special for you today. Enjoy it because this will not happen often. I am cooking. I'm going to be cooking my Urban Cajun Girl spaghetti. It's actually what launched the name of my blog, and I'll tell you the story about that. So I hope you stay tuned. So you will not see me cooking any jambalaya or etouffee, or making hog head cheese or boudin balls, or frying alligator or frog legs or anything like that. But I will show you how to cook a spaghetti. So you may be wondering where the name Urban Cajun Girl comes from. It started with this spaghetti. When I went to Whole Foods to get these ingredients and I looked down and I saw them in my basket, I'll post a picture. I looked at that and I thought of two people, my best friend and my brother-in-law, who are 100% Sicilian Italian. Either their grandparents or great-grandparents came from Sicily through New York down to Louisiana. So they've had the real deal. And their moms make amazing spaghetti and meatballs. I do not make meatballs, it's too much work. So I took a picture of the ingredients in my buggy, and I texted a picture to both of them, and I said, this is what you call an Urban Cajun Girl spaghetti. I am a city girl through and through. I want everything fast, convenient, but I am so Cajun in my heart. Just everything I learned growing up in a Cajun culture, just, good food and good people and good community, and just making the best with whatever you have. So it's actually ended up becoming the name of my blog because I just realized that's really who I am. I am urban in my heart and Cajun in my soul. So the very first step for me is preparing the organic onion and celery. And different from my original post in the first time I made this, where I chopped everything up and sauteed it, I now just put both of these things one at a time in my Vitamix and just basically pulverize it. And so I do not have to spend the time waiting for all of this to saute in the form of cut vegetables. You still get all the great flavor, but save about 15 minutes of time. Okay, so I have rinsed my celery, cut it into fourths. I'm gonna go ahead and put chop up the onions with my Vitamix. I love this Vitamix. I had originally bought it thinking I was gonna make smoothies and stuff, but that's just not my thing. But I have come to love to make soups from fresh vegetables and adding some rotisserie chicken, but more than anything I use it to chop up my vegetables, the very quick and easy urban way of getting things done. So I always start off, maybe I'll turn it so that you can see, start everything in the off position and on low. It's going to be loud. This unit is about maybe 3 years old. They have some that aren't quite as loud, but anyway, it's loud. Hold your ears, you've been warned. Okay, so there you go. Now I have to tell you, I have never owned a food processor because that seemed like a very expensive piece of equipment that I would never, ever, ever use. But this Vitamix does anything that a food processor would do. So that's my onions, and you can see that it maybe looks a little bit like onion soup to you. I'm going to scoop this out in my pot. I'm going to do the same with the celery. Add that to the pot, and then we'll get started from there. Okay, so the onions are in the pot. I'm going to add this celery, and of course, I don't even rinse this out in between. There's no sense. The onions and celery can certainly mix together, whatever leftovers that I have there. The celery, is a little fibrous. So sometimes this takes a little longer. I just have to make sure I use the tamper to pound it all together. So hold your ears, here we go. Is that? It's like liquid celery. You don't have to wait for it to take forever to saute and tenderize. It kind of looks like a smoothie, huh? But you can see how liquidy it is, but you have all the flavor without the weight. So there you go. I'm going to put this in the pot and we'll get started. I just stir it up. I don't follow all of the traditional culinary rules, so I apologize for those of you having your heart skip a beat every so often as you watch me prepare this. So this is going to heat up. It's going to simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. That is far less time than if these were basically just chopped and having to simmer for a long time. So let's go cut some sausage. In my recipe, I use 3 jars of sauce, and my husband and son love a meaty spaghetti sauce. So I use 2 pounds of grass-fed beef and then 2 pounds of smoked sausage. And I grew up eating smoked sausage my whole life, and never did it dawn on me that there might actually be organic smoked sausage. So I was just so excited when I found this at Whole Foods to know that my Urban Cajun Girl spaghetti was going to be organic through and through. Now I hear my onion and celery concoction over there starting to bubble up. So this is what I do. I'll cut all these up and then I will add that to the pot after I brown the ground meat. Okay, so pardon the fact that I have no fancy video equipment. My phone is now on top of my refrigerator so that you can see inside of my pot. So I have let the onion and celery simmer for 5 minutes, and now I'm going to add the grass-fed organic beef. Okay, so that's 2 pounds of grass-fed organic beef, and I'm going to go wash my hands. Okay, so what I do now is I season this with pink Himalayan sea salt and mix black peppercorns, and then we'll let the ground beef saute, and when it is all brown, we'll let it brown, and then when it's finished, we'll add in the sausage. Lots of pepper and a fair amount of salt because the beef just absorbs that. So it's not going to be salty at all. And I'm just going to chop this up and then let it brown. Okay, so you can see what we have there. We're just gonna let it brown. I have the stove on. I have an electric stove, and I have it on number 8, and I'm gonna check it from time to time, and then when it's brown, we'll add the sausage. So as you can see, that is browning, and I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic in there so that the ground beef has some nice flavor. It's gonna have the garlic and celery, salt, pepper, and onion flavor in there, because there is nothing worse than unseasoned ground beef. Ugh. Now you notice I changed cutting mats between the vegetables and the meat. Very important because you don't want to cross-contaminate. Although I did do the vegetables first. That is one culinary rule that I do follow. And these mats are from Pampered Chef. They're super flexible, color coded. I don't use any of these measuring things, but they actually have rulers on here, and they rinse off and go straight in the dishwasher. Okay, so I'm just gonna stir the sausage in, and we're gonna let this brown just for about 5 minutes. The sausage is already cooked, but just to let the flavors sort of meld together. And I love cooking in stainless steel and with bamboo. No worries about aluminum or that non-stick coating flaking off in your food. And then bamboo is a sustainable product, and you can use this in any of your cooking pots. Okay, so this is the home stretch. The sausage browned for 5 minutes with the ground beef. And so I'm gonna add my jars of sauce. And if you don't know, if you're used to cooking from scratch, you don't know. But if you cook from jars, reminder, if you just tap on the counter like that, they open easily. So I'm gonna add 3 jars of sauce. Stir all the goodness together. It really smells great. If you can get over the fact that that sauce just came out of a jar, you will be very happy. Because it tastes so good and fresh. It tastes garden fresh. That's my teenage son's words. And then I'm going to add some more chopped garlic to that, because you cannot have spaghetti sauce without more garlic. And the one that I'm using is the tomato basil. And they do have another one. The first one that I used, I think it was called Italian herbs or something like that. And then the tomato basil is our other preference. We like both of them. I usually just get whatever's in stock. So we are done. This is my Urban Cajun Girl spaghetti. I'm gonna give you a close-up, and then we're gonna let this, it's actually 8:45 at night. My husband and son are watching the LSU game, and this is what I'm doing. This is my excuse to not have to go watch the game tonight, because sometimes I like just being home and just being a girl all by myself. So, and then we're gonna let this cook for a few hours and cool off, and then we're gonna have this for lunch tomorrow, and I'm gonna bring some to my dad. It's his birthday this weekend, and so we're gonna bring some to him for dinner tomorrow evening. So here you go. Here is my pot of Urban Cajun Girl spaghetti. You can see what it looks like. Just, you can see all the herbs in there. I see some celery, the chunks of tomato, the smoked sausage, the ground beef. This is a very beefy and meaty sauce, and it's a whole lot less time than making meatballs. Here with you. I did want to read the ingredients on the back of this organic tomato basil pasta sauce jar from Whole Foods so that you know what is in it. It has organic diced tomatoes, organic tomato puree, organic basil, organic extra virgin olive oil, organic onions, salt, organic garlic, organic dehydrated onions, organic dehydrated garlic, organic dried basil, and organic oregano. That is just fresh herbs from the garden.